And we're live. Hello and welcome to Favorite Rugby on Favorite Sports. Harlequins versus the Sharks, the Champions Cup. And these are the sort of clashes that we dreamed of, that we were waiting for, that we got so excited when we did join the European Champions Cup and EPCR in general. It was all about matches like this, Harlequins versus Sharks, two of the biggest clubs in the world, really, taking on each other at the Stoop in London. Hopefully it's a really good crowd. It's a fantastic match. Two fantastic teams. Plenty of international players on display. And honestly, we couldn't ask for much more than that on a Saturday afternoon than to be watching two world-class teams take each other on in a very famous ground. And I, for one, I'm very excited. One of two South African teams to play today. Unfortunately, the Bulls yesterday got kind of taken apart, must be said, by Lyon. But, we look at the two lineups today when we go through them. It's international talent just everywhere across all the very different positions across both teams. And I think that it's going to be a really, really cool clash, and I really hope it sort of lives up to its bill, because it is billed as one of the big matches this weekend. And South African fans, it's exactly the type of game you've been waiting to see. So I'm going to put a poll in the comments saying, who do you think will win? The options are the Sharks, Harlequins. As an extra option, a draw, which will be very boring. We don't like draws. We don't want draws. We want to see draws. But it is a possibility. We've got to put it out there, don't we? So let's go through the two sides, shall we? So we'll start with the home side. Joe Marler, Jack Walker, and Wilco Low are the starting front row for the Quins. They'll be backed up by Stefan Levis and Ine Herbst. Stefan Levis, former captain of the Harlequins, next to a fellow South African born Ine Herbst, who was born in Witbank, 29 years old. Very, very big beard, very majestic player. And then the back row for the Harlequins, very exciting one of Daniel Lamb, Will Evans, and Alex Dornbrandt, who is a very big ball carrier, very big physical presence, and will be looking to try and make himself felt out there. He's 1.91, but 120 kg, so packs quite a punch, does Alex Dornbrandt. We then got Danny Kerr next to Marcus Smith, Josh Bassett, Caden Murdy, Nick David, the back three, and a world-class center pairing of Andre Esterhazen and Joe Marchand. For the Sharks, and starting in front row, it's Oxen Che, Kieran Van Vuuren, Thomas Toy. Eben Etzebeth is next to Gebrand Krobler, Sia Khaleesi, Vincent Tuka, Betsy Buthelezi, in what is almost a cheat code of a back row. Jaden Hendrickse, the South African incumbent scrum, almost. Him and Van der Kloot very much vying for that starting spot, is next to Kernan Bosch, playing some fantastic rugby at the moment. Thakir Abrahams, Marnus Portleeta, Apile Fassi, your back three. Australian international Ben Tapawai at inside centre, and World Player of the Year nominee Lekanyam at outside centre. Off the bench for the Quins, it's George Head, Finn Baxter, Simon Kerrod, Tom Lorde, Luke Wallace, Scott Steele, Tommaso Allen, and Oscar Beard. For the Sharks, Dan Jooste, Instuko, Carlos Sardi, who's been linked to the move to Edinburgh, in fact, this week. Sigurd Noche, Grant Williams, Nana Cornier, and former Cheetahs and Wasps centre Francois Fenter. Marcus Smith does have ball in hand, and Sharks will be playing in their white kit, and I think they'll be playing left to right, if I'm not mistaken. The right to left, apologies for that. And so Quins will be left to right. Quins do a kickoff. Looks like a very nice conditions actually over there in London. And we do get the action underway, going towards the left-hand side. Should be an early touch for Gebrand Krobler, and it's a nice take up the air for him as well. Bit of a slow ball here for Jaden Henderson. Wilco Low looking to try and disrupt things. On his way to the Bulls, a very good signing for the Pretoria side. Now, big kick up there for Eben Etzebeth to go and get it up there. And the ball does come loose. And who wants it? It's dived upon by Stefan Levis. And I think it'll be a Harlequins scrum, if I'm not mistaken, seeing that he's looking to know. But knock-on is the course, so it will be a Sharks scrum. Early set piece. It'll be nice to see the measure that these two have of each other at scrum time. And we'll go to the comments. I'll be saying Bulls were disappointing. This should be a good game. Hopefully both sides have their strongest teams. I hope everyone runs at Smith all game. That's exactly what we want to see, isn't it? You want to see Eben Etzebeth, really. We want to see the Etzebeth that we see in international. Gebrand Krobler already down, receiving a bit of treatment. I think it's a bit of blood he's got on the side of his head. So it shouldn't be anything too serious, hopefully. Touch wood, hopefully not. But yeah, I mean, these are the sort of the games that we really sort of been waiting to see him and Etzebeth, pitch up and do the business, really. Neil Powell over there, and what a revelation he's been to the side since the sacking of Sean Everett. Right, it's a bit of a break and play here. Whilst Karan Kobler gets some treatment, and yeah, it just looks like a bit of blood. So it should be fine to continue. But this should be a really nice set piece. Joe Marler up against Thomas Dutoy, Oxenchair up against Wilco Low. Tasty scrum battle. It's one of the, for me, one of the big parts of the game will be to see how this goes. And I think either side getting that bit of a scrum ascendancy will go a long way towards going to try and win the game. Yeah, Karan Kobler just getting a little bit of some strapping. And what's really cool about this whole clash is that the Sharks have actually already qualified. They actually technically don't need, they didn't need to have brought their stronger side. They've already qualified for the next round. Harlequins, not so much. But quite cool to see that the Sharks, even having qualified, have sent over their best side. Apart from a couple of injuries, they don't get much stronger than this. And a massive game later this evening for Stormers up against Clermont as they're looking to try and qualify. The Bulls missing out on qualification for the last 16. So frustrating for the Pretoria side. They went far away. A win last night would have done the job. But unfortunately being outplayed by Dion, who also still didn't qualify at this rate. So, yeah, first game of the year. After a minute, a bit of time off as Karan Kobler got some treatment. But now we will have our first set piece of the day, which should be a nice tasty one. Big scrum coming from the Sharks. It's available for Jaden Hendrickson, who goes to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch going to Lekanya to Fassi back in the side, back from his injury. Thaka Abrahams and he gets in the inside, and it goes to Lekanya. Well, there he goes. The first try of the match. Brilliant stuff that from the Sharks. Absolutely brilliant. The perfect start. Nice little, yeah, the kick of the top from Apple Fassi working so well. Thaka Abrahams went outside, came back inside, jumped all over it, and then said, thank you very much. And that is the perfect start for the Sharks. Well, there we go. The Kanyam as well, involved in that, running a nice angle down the side there, which created the overlap. Nice little chip ahead from up there fast. Good to see him back at the side. Thaka Abrahams was nice and aware. Inside ball. The Kanyam, just his second match in the competition, and he has a try to his name. Now, Curran Bosch should be a pretty straightforward attempt this from him. Yeah, it does nail it. Oh, no, he's come off the post. That's pretty poor from Curran Bosch, it actually must be said. Right, the restart from Quinn's going back towards Kobler, but he leaves it for Pepsi Buthelezi. He's hit hard and exits the safety of his 22, so Jaden Hendrickson will not be able to find touch here. Or at least directly, anyway. He does go to the box kick. Even Etzebeth, Sia Khaleesi, and Mars Porkito after it. Etzebeth is pushing everybody away, and it's come off the hand of a Quinn's player. Turnover ball, yeah, quick ball, Lekanya sees a bit of space, stabs on his left foot there, looking to try and put Marcus Smith under a bit of pressure. Mark Smith going himself, but he is wrapped up by Curran Bosch and Lacanya. I'm just outside the 22 for Quins. But offside penalty is the call. And they're taking it quickly as Danny Kerr. Inside, outside, runs into